So many teams in world football is going to be looking to sign lots of players from the World Cup, being it a star or being it a wonder kid. But today in this video, we want to talk about a wonder kid from Morocco, and you guys already know who I'm talking about. He's Bouaddi. So we want to talk about Bouaddi. We want to be able to analyze his game against Brazil because of course he also played well against Scotland in their last game. But in today's video, we want to talk about specifically on how he was able to dominate Brazil. And of course, with that game, you're going to find out that he's somebody that Manchester United desperately need. So going into that video, you're going to find out that Bouaddi is a player that is very good both without the ball and with the ball. That tells you that he has a very good, excellent track. That means he's a player that can be able to be consistent in winning that ball back for 90 minutes of the game. Because of course, Manchester United really struggled a lot last season in terms of ball retention, in terms of trying to win that ball constantly. Manchester United consistently struggled in terms of having that player that can be able to constantly win the ball and recover for 90 minutes. And of course, Bouaddi has a very long leg, so it is very easy for him to constantly win the ball back from the opposition, try to be very physical, and like I said, he has a very good upper body, a very good physical attribute, so it is not a challenge for him. Because of course, we had sections of last season where Casemiro was not able to play beyond the 70 minutes or the 75 minutes. I feel after the whole stress of Casemiro in the 60 minutes, 65, 70, 75, Casemiro is going to get gassed out and exhausted. So of course, having a player that like Bouaddi that doesn't just win the ball in segments of the game, but somebody that can be able to win this ball for 90 minutes of the game, I think it elevates the physical attributes of our midfield, because we know that KOMBO'S is not the most physical player. I know we just got Edison, which is a little bit physical, but based on what we have, KOMBO'S, Bruno Fernandes are lots more like technical players than physical players. But getting a player like Bouaddi that is also going to bring that physicality at a very young age is going to be very impressive. And of course, you know that Matheus Cunha is a very physically dominant player. He's a player that has a very good physical attribute and he can properly utilize his body. You can see that even when Matheus Cunha came on with that game, of course he's fresh, he has the ability to press and win the ball back. On two separate occasions, Bouaddi was able to deal with Matheus Cunha very excellently. In the first situation, you're going to find out that Matheus Cunha tries to press him, and without any stress, he was able to just ease past Matheus Cunha. In the second situation, Matheus Cunha wanted to take him on. He was able to chase down Matheus Cunha, constantly shut him down in that situation. That tells you that having a player like Bouaddi in Manchester United, I think is something that is potentially going to unlock a different profile to how we approach games. And of course, you see that he plays in Ligue 1, and of course, you know that Ligue 1 is a very physical league. That means him making that leap from Ligue 1 to the Premier League is not going to give him a lot of period of adaptation, because he's already used to the physicality of the Premier League. But I really want Manchester United to look at his direction, because of course I know that Manchester United currently we are trying to get Matheus Fernandes over the window and to look at other midfielders. So of course I would like Manchester United to be looking at the direction of Bouaddi, because of course before the Brazil game I was able to watch him once in Ligue 1, and the game I watched him, he was really good. He was winning duels, he was attempting goals, he was very good aerially, and is somebody that I feel that having him alongside KOMBO'S in the first phase and also in other segments of the game is really going to help us. So guys, I know I've already said this here before. I want you guys to help me to watch this video to the end. We are trying to get to 4,000 watch hours and try to get monetization here on YouTube. I want you guys to help me to achieve that. I want you guys to please help me to watch this video to the end. I will keep growing on YouTube. So just to put into context, Bouaddi is just 18 years old, and of course the game against Brazil was his first competitive game in the World Cup, and I think the AFCON was the last competitive tournament he had as a player. And so coming into this kind of game, you're playing against Brazil, you're coming up against a midfield of Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes and Lucas Paqueta, and you come and play so confidently and you come and control the game so well. That speaks so highly of him, because he was not really bothered about the feels of playing against a Brazil team. He was not afraid. He played without any form of fear, and this is what I admire about him. And this is the kind of personality we need in Manchester United. We don't need players that is going to be very afraid in big games like this. We need players that can be able to come out and take full responsibility on the pitch. And you could see that from the most attempted pass and completed pass, Bouaddi had more passes than any other player in that game. That tells you that he's a player that can be able to bring a lot of control in our team. So of course this is a player that we should be potentially looking to sign, because of course he's going to bring that control to our team. And you could see during the first phase, he's a player that is going to be very, very useful in the first phase, because if you watch the build-up of Morocco, both against Brazil and against Scotland, you're going to find out that it is not the goalie building up, it is not the defenders building up, but Bouaddi is the one building up. He's the one that goes to meet the goalkeeper, take that ball up and try to find passing solutions. And this is something that we have not had for a very long time. Beno does it once in a while, Bruno Fernandes does it once in a while, but we need a player that can constantly go to Selena-Mas, pick this ball up and try to make something to happen. We need that player with the balls that can be able to help us efficiently in the first phase. And this is something that I feel that Bouaddi can be able to help us with. And of course, if you look at his passing map, if you look at his passing map, if you look at his hit map in the game against Brazil, he was constantly moving to the left, moving to the right, picking this ball up, trying to dictate the play, trying to go long, trying to make sure that Morocco has more of the possession and has more of the control in that game over Brazil. And it was something that actually happened in that game. And of course, if Manchester United want to get a young player that is going to serve us in the future, that is going to help us in the first phase, that is going to help us in the second phase, and also potentially be useful in the third phase, I think Bouaddi is that player. And of course, pairing players like Bouaddi and Meno, of course you need an older player to look after them, to help to give them some tips on how to play, particularly in the Premier League, because of course they cannot be flawless. I think there are games where they are going to have bad games, there are games whereby they are not going to reflect their true abilities. But having these two players in our midfield pivot, I think it is going to serve us for the next decade. But personally for me, I am not somebody that just looks at flashy players or look at the attributes of players in one game and then conclude. But I feel that Bouaddi is not somebody that I've just showed it against Brazil. He's somebody that I've showed it at Lille, and somebody that is showing it against an iconic team like Brazil in the World Cup. He also showed it against Scotland. And if you also want me to make an analysis on his performance against Scotland, I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section. I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Trafford. I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section on if Manchester United should go for Bouaddi after Matheus Fernandes. I'll see you guys in my next video.